T-Man 978 Chill Review.
Hello everyone, T-Man 978. Right now I'm reviewing G.I. Joe Classified Special Mission Cobra Island Roadblock really quickly. And the main attraction will be the Baroness with Cobra C.O.I.L right there. So they don't call this like riders or anything. It's just her with the Cobra C.O.I.L. Here's, I don't know why they didn't just call him heavy duty and call it a day. Roadblocks packaging right there. Here's the stuff on the side if you care. He's number 11. The Baroness is number 13. There's her stuff with the Cobra emblem right there. Cobra at the top. Here she is riding the coil. I guess that's what this thing is called. And here's this artwork right here. Baroness. Check this out. This is heavy duty. This is what I said he should have been. Similar. They both of them got a beard and a bandana on right there. And he has another version with a visor just like he's wearing right there. And they have a big gun. Check out my review for him. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but this was $15 when I bought it. $15. You see all this. This has actual function and whatnot. Just go watch my review. Alright, these are your toys. You can do whatever you want. The only thing messing up the plan to make him heavy duty is them having the same tattoo on the arm. I mean, even their skin complexion is slightly different. And the face, you can definitely say that this is a different guy right there. But they come with the same gun, with the same little gimmick with this cartridge coming out right there. They put broiler on there. Heavy duty was known for cooking. I heard he was a chef too, so but the gun is the same, just it's now black with blue deco here or there. You see how he's holding his gun, and there's also a handle right there that's very difficult to get to you. Gloves are sculpted the same, but they are now black. Same wrist thing because these arms are basically the same, but he has this new accessory right here, this arm communicator thing right there, just like heavy duty from Sigma 6. When you look it up, Sigma 6 heavy duty chill review. And he has these new grenade straps right here, so I guess you could consider that an accessory since he doesn't have the vest anymore. And shins and knee pad all the same, boots the same, just basically everything's a different color. Pants the same, he just doesn't have this vest that's real restrictive. And instead of this knife, they gave him these glasses right here, which are cool. Depending on the light, you can see his eyes through there. Let's bring the faces up close. I don't know. Let me take the glasses off so we can really look. Oh no, glasses fell down. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe you can just call him Roadblock, or consider it his twin brother, or maybe it's heavy duty to you and it's his cousin. But yeah, you do get a little bit of sculpting right there, but the way it's dark right there, you can get away with saying you don't really see it. He still has all the same articulation, up and down, all that. The ball right there, butterfly, barely any butterfly because you see that sculpting. Double jointed, yada yada yada. This is his ab crunch or his ab articulation. You get the ball down there, drop down hips, yada yada. Swivel at the thigh, double jointed knees, swivel here, la-di-dee, la-di-dee, la-di-dee. I like him. I just think he looks really skinny without that vest. So when you turn him for poses with his gun, it looks kind of awkward because it's like he just looks too skinny from the side, and he's supposed to be a big, beefy, muscular guy. So I think they should have made a secondary sculpt for him outside of that vest. And that's my opinion on him. Here's the head swap. Here's the glasses swap. Good figure, can't complain about it. Scenes like this have people watching G.I. Joe like. Alright, accessories first. And I believe this is called the Cobra C.O.I.L. The bike is nicely detailed. It's mostly, you know what, if this had like a strong gloss over it and whatnot, I would say, or some type of metallic looking finish, I would say it didn't look too bright and toy-y, but they didn't do that. You know, it has these big pegs. They're for screws, but I wonder if anything could peg into those. Yeah, they're bigger than 5mm ports. I can stick that in there just because the handle is long, but yeah, you see that. But yeah, the tire is a pliable plastic, so it feels softer than the rest of the bike. You see this motion right there? That's awesome. The paint on my copy did get sloppy right here. I did a horrible sin to myself. When I shipped out Matt's figure to him, I didn't look to see which one looked better. So he may end up with a better figure. You see that detail right there? This handle was not in there. It's on a big round ball joint right there. It took some effort to get that in there. Like, I had to use a lot of strength. So if you buy this for a kid, just know you're gonna have to put that ball joint in there, especially depending on what age the kid is. You can see the controls right here. They're painted in a green metallic, like a metallic-y looking green. Cobra symbols right there. The seat has texture. Yeah, I mean, they could have did a lot more to make this more interesting. They do have printed on numbers and stuff in different places. But yeah, these guns can move because they just peg in. They can come off, and that's what the bike looks like. It has this kickstand right here. Works very well. And pegs right there for the feet. If anything, these exhaust pipes could have been painted silver. And yeah, I mean, it's good enough. But yeah, they could have did more if they wanted to, paint wise. It's up to you, actually, whether you think this looks bad or not. But I like it. It rolls and makes that sound, which is fun. This is my first time doing that, and now I'm having probably too much fun. You see that? It can actually, because of how flat the tires are, if you have it straight, it can actually roll for a good while before it falls. Like it. I'm wondering if it had a big long enough stretch, I might just be able to roll it, period, until it hits something. Here's the gun. Unlike what would happen in Transformers, it has a big peg right here. It's actually filled in on both sides. So yeah, they didn't waste money. This is a solid piece of plastic with a peg in it. And because of that peg, you can go ahead and take it off the bike and peg it into the Baroness's back. I mean, it does stick out a bit, but that's still an option. Her hair gets in the way, so she'll have to have her head tilted a certain way while wearing this. I mean, you could overlap it, but that's going to force her to look down. And it does have a handle there, so she can hold it. Here's her holding the gun. And while we're here she is with this robotic laser Cobra. It can coil around her arm just like you see in the box right there. And it has a little barrel in the mouth. The barrel is separate from the top of the mouth. So if you want to, you can jam a siege effect in there. And I would imagine that this is a robot, like subservient to her. Let's get fully into the details. It is very detailed. It even has little red eyes. And scale design is like metallic-y scale design all the way around it. Substantial piece, again. Here she is holding both guns. If you want to have her get these guns in her hands, I suggest prying the thumb and fingers out at the same time before you shove it in through the handle. Her gun holsters on the back. She holds 2 of these golden guns that came with Duke and Beachhead so far. So there's that option. And it's connected to this belt, which I may just glue to the front of her pelvic area, just like I did with Scarlet, because manipulating her in this, moving up and down, that does get a little bit frustrating. And her little side holster, which can it was in the front like this when I opened it, but I'm rotating it to the side. It like matches up with the top of her boot right there. But she has this little this knife that it does not fit in there tightly at all. This is the full length. All of that hangs out. So this is going to be falling out all the time. It's a little Cobra on the top of it. This is a tiny bit better, but it's a black knife with the tip of it painted gold. Yeah, it looks like a Cobra. Yeah. This is what we're working with right here. I can see up close some of the black is bleeding through, unless that's just a reflection. Now to get into the Baroness, her face. I love when these characters have black everything and then a white, bright face. It makes it so hard to focus on them. Let me zoom in on her. Pretty as always, but she looks like the cartoon where I would think she's probably in her 30s. This left eye is a bit sketch when I can actually see it because the glasses are dark right there. But this one, they're definitely looking straight. These glasses are rock solid hard. They are not gummy pliable. They don't move when you touch them. It's like affixed permanently where they are. Here is her hair, which gets straight back there. She definitely got it professionally cut down there. So you could tell she really cares about her appearance. Everything in her suit is sculpted and molded. The whole outfit. Sculpted, molded. Love all that. Love all that. Like the paint. This is her butt detail. The boots. I like that she doesn't have heels. I was thinking she was going to have heels. But let's get into the articulation. Same as Scarlet. She has a hinge right there so she can look down. Of course, this hair is pliable as it is. Let me try to force it. Between the ball at the top of the neck, at the top of the hinge, and the ball in the bottom, that's as high up as I can get her to look up, which is not really any at all. But the ball down here, it moves in certain directions better than others. Of course, it fully rotates. It can shift down a little bit, but yeah, it can get you tilts and whatnot, but it's not a tremendous amount of range. The shoulders can go out that far. This shoulder thing right here is actually attached underneath of the joint, just like they've been doing for Marvel Legends. They can go back a little bit on a butterfly joint, back and forward. No bicep rotation, but even though it feels like there is right here. Single hinged elbows, about 90 degrees. And of course it rotates at the elbow, and the wrist hinge up and down. This diaphragm joint, super great range going back. So she can get into some poses like this and whatnot. Forward, just a little bit of forward. And the ball joint down here is kind of weird. It goes back, but this is the best I've been. It doesn't seem to go forward that much. But what I've been doing, and you saw in that pose earlier, is her side to side tilt is amazing. So I typically use that to my advantage when I'm trying to get some type of ab crunchy pose, because she can definitely tilt to the side a lot and come forward more than she can by just utilizing her regular joints. But she has drop down hips. There she can do a split that far. She can, with the drop down hip engage, kick up that high. She has thigh rotation, so you can twist the leg the way you need it to be while she's doing that high kick. Double hinge knee. Ankle goes back that much. Goes forward that much, and she has regular ankle pivot, not swivel. I've been trying to do my typical thing where I twist the foot and bring this part of the plastic over top of the notch at the bottom, but I have not been able to. I'm pretty sure if I keep messing with it, I'll pull the foot out of the peg some more. I've not been able to get that to flex so I can get it higher, but I'm pretty sure if you work with it, you can. Here she is next to her constant partner in crime. And yay, I got my wish, because in the bio it says that she's taller than Scarlet, and she is. Here's Duke. Here's my Jazzwares John Jones. Here's Roadblock. Spider-Man. Standing next to the coil. And here is the helmet. There is an unpainted fang right there, so if you look very closely at it, it does have like Cobra detail on it. It honestly reminds me of an unpainted Power Rangers helmet, to be honest. Because this definitely looks like, with the fang detail and whatnot, and the Cobra in the head, definitely looks like something the Power Rangers will have. But that's a bike helmet for you. It's solid. Pop her head off. She has a black ball joint right there. I don't know why, because I think this is flesh tone right there with black painted on the bottom. And here's what she's working with. And yes, this does fit on Scarlet's ball joint. Before I forget, she is capable of gripping back here onto that gun. Here she is on the bike. And here's where boot rotation would have helped. I guess it would have broke the sculpt up. I mean, they could have made this a floating piece. But she does have on thigh-high boots, so they probably didn't want to break the sculpt up. But it would have been able to help with rotating her feet forward so they wouldn't have to be pointed outward. But her butt is all the way down. And yeah, and it was mandatory that she had this helmet because that hair would not let her look up. And this little knife, I swear, this does move. I didn't show that, but you can still do all this while she's on here and her feet aren't coming off and her butt isn't moving up. So that's awesome. That's what she looks like right there with her feet like that. Here's Destro riding with her. Since his whole head is a helmet, I guess he doesn't need one. I tried to put his feet on that thing back there, which he is capable of. I did that on this side. Only if he sits in this little front divot. Can move him back here. Here she is with all of her accessories on her except her head. And yeah, and please note that the kickstand isn't down. It's just holding itself up because of these flat wheels. Alright, negatives and nitpicks. With this being a mass retail product, you'll have to pay attention to paint defects and whatnot, which you will only be able to see on one side. You have to pay attention to that more than you would with an import toy. Her herself, she looks great. I think the only thing you'll have to pay attention to is look behind her glasses to make sure both of your eyes are right. But, oh yeah, I would have loved boot swivel and the typical Hasbro female issues. Elbows that don't bend more than 90 degrees. If you don't have double jointed elbows, they should always at least bend more than 90 degrees, no matter what. Of course, the limited hair, articulation and all that, but they gave you that helmet to accommodate. And I appreciate, let me get to the positives. I appreciate that they gave us the helmet. Like when I was putting Scarlet on the little, this bike I have right here, which I didn't compare in this video, you can see her bike is way bigger. than a motorcycle like this. But when I was putting Scarlett on this, I was thinking, oh crap, she would need a helmet, wouldn't she? And yeah, so I'm happy they thought about that. The guns, I'm happy you can take them off and she could actually use them, and it pegs into her back. That Cobra is very substantial. She comes with 2 guns and a knife. Only thing that I hope that Hasbro does in the future is stop being stingy with extra hands. The wrist going up and down like that should never be the only option. I hate trying to come up with poses. Sometimes it works with that, other times it doesn't. So if they could supply hands that go in and out like this as well, but just extra hands in general, because it's a lot of excellent poses you could have came up with if she didn't just have a trigger finger. Which I didn't mention, they made sure the finger was stretched out long enough to reach the trigger up here. So yeah, I like that you can have the bike just on its wheels and it actually rolls a bit. So if someone actually did buy this for their kid, which I'm not sure if anybody out there collecting these is even dreaming about doing, but it does roll across the floor or my table for a good distance before it falls. So that is a cool, fun feature right there. So overall, I'm happy with this set. Her articulation is still good enough, even with those nitpicks that I made. I like the way she fits on this bike. Only thing bad is trying to get a pose like this. Those guns being directly behind her, that does get in her way. But everything's cool. I like it. He's a decent figure. You know my complaints or my nitpicks with that already. Thank y'all for watching this. Until next time, T-Man978 out of here. Click the videos. Click the videos, baby. Click the videos. You should really click these videos. Click the videos. Click those videos, baby. Click the videos. You really should click those videos. Click that shit.